If you've been wanting to take your family to Paris on points, we are sharing exactly how we did that for our family of 5 in today's episode. We're going to tell you exactly where we stayed, what we did, and even a few places that we ate with kids. So listen in. Hi, I'm Rhea.
And I'm Dwayne.
And we are your hosts of the Travel Party of 5 podcast, where we share how we travel as a family of 5 around the world.
We will also share how we use points and miles to travel as affordably as possible and sometimes even completely free.
So if you're wanting to travel more with your family, but you're not sure how, we'd love for you to listen in.
So welcome to our podcast, where we hope you learn a thing or two to get you closer to your next trip. Hey guys, welcome back.
Hello, friends. We are fresh off of our 2-week European adventure. We just got home yesterday.
Yes, so fresh, we still have jet lag.
Yes, everyone is a little bit tired. Everyone was up very early this morning. But today we are going to share all the details about the first part of our trip, which is our time in Paris.
Petite.
So this was Dwayne's first time visiting Paris. And so before we jump into all the details of like the hotel and all the stuff we did, I'm just curious, like, what did you think? And was it what you expected?
Oh, oui. Yeah, it was, I thought it was great. I think the next time we go, we need to experience outside of Paris.
Like other parts of France?
I feel like we didn't get the whole French experience.
Oh, yeah. No, I would agree with that. So, like, one of my dream trips, as a total side note, is to, like, drive a car from Paris down through the entire country and then, like, even into Spain. And, like kind of explore all the little French towns along the way. That is...
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to that next.
Yeah. I don't know if I would do that with kids, but...
But overall, it was a great time. Paris is, unfortunately, it rained most of the time we were there.
Yes, and it was cold. So we didn't have, overall, for the whole trip, we didn't have super great weather, but there's nothing we can do about it.
We made the best of what...
Yes, we did.
We were given,
Yes. Okay. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, overall, it was a great time.
Did it live up to your expectations that you had?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the hotel. So before we dive into the details, we're not going to spend a ton of time on like how we booked it, because I just did a whole episode about that came out last week. So if you want to know exactly how we booked it, where we stayed, flights, all that is in last week's episode. So pop over and listen to that. But for Paris specifically, we did stay at the Hyatt Regency Paris Etoile. Etoile means star in French.
I had no idea.
It does, yes.
Stayed there. I had no idea.
This was my second time staying there, actually. I stayed there last year with my mom and sister, and I knew that it would be the perfect place to have a family of 5, because I knew that we could get 2 rooms. We could put 2 in one room, 3 in the other, and they could be connecting, because that's exactly how we had it last year. And that's like literally the setup that we had this time was exactly the same. So it's called, when you book it, you would book 2 separate rooms, or sometimes it's available for points. It's called the Regency Family Suite, and it's literally just 2 connecting rooms.
And first of all, we had to book that because, unlike the States, the rooms there are very small.
Yeah, normal occupancy for a European hotel is 2, sometimes 3. And so if you're like just starting to plan a trip to Europe, you need to keep that in mind first and foremost. This hotel is great for families. It is not in like the city center of Paris, though.
It is not.
However, I didn't find that to be a detriment to us at all.
No, not at all.
We took the metro pretty much everywhere we went. So we flew on Air France straight from Chicago to Paris, 85,000 points for all 5 of us to fly. Those were miles that I transferred from somewhere to Flying Blue. All 4 banks transfer. I can't remember where they came from at the time, but that's a smoking deal. And I guess we can talk about the flight because obviously I didn't talk about that in last week's episode because we hadn't taken it yet. So Air France Economy, overnight flight. First time for our kids flying on a red eye like that overnight too, and longest flight for them. I think everyone did really well.
Yeah, what was that? I forget. That was what, 8.5 hours?
Yes, roughly, yeah. And so we took off around 5 o'clock Chicago time, and we landed at 8 a.m. Paris time. And I mean,
I can't even remember. Did the kids sleep on that
a
flight?
little bit, but like not a lot. Our daughter slept the most probably because she's the tiniest, and she could easily, like, she just laid on Dwayne's lap and she slept. The boys, they slept a little bit, and I slept again a little bit because I was in the same row with them, and Dwayne and our daughter were in the middle row. Did you sleep at all?
No, not really. A cat nap here and there, but that was about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. The food was not great, actually, because even though we were not at the back of the plane, for some reason, when they got to us, they had run out of the, like, meat option, the chicken option. So all they had was a vegetarian option, and I'm not very picky, and it was not good.
It was very bad, actually.
Fortunately for the kids, well, for our 2 younger kids, I had pre-ordered a kids meal. That came out well before our meal, and it was good.
Before everybody's meal.
And it was good. Yep. So our 2 youngest had like pasta, and I don't know, it was fine for kids. They enjoyed it. Unfortunately, our oldest did not. I don't know, I think I just didn't pre-order for him because he's the most adventurous eater of the 3, and I thought he'll be fine with whatever it is, but I did not plan for them running out of the chicken. So
I mean, and they ran out like fairly early.
it's because they like were going in weird sections, and they like started in the back, then they moved up closer towards the front of economy, and so we were, even though we were in the middle in economy, we were still served last. Like, it was at least a full hour after our kids got their meals that we got ours. Yeah, it was not good food, so that was disappointing. But the rest of the flight was fine. I mean, I got everyone turtleneck pillows, and I think I'm the only one that used mine, really.
Well, what's funny is I tried to use mine, but this is while our daughter was laying on me. I couldn't figure it out, and there was like this thing you had to remove from the Velcro, and I didn't realize that.
Oh, so it like wouldn't stick?
Yeah, it wouldn't stick. And I was like, what's going on here? And then finally I figured it out, and Ari was up, and I was like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, I normally can sleep fairly decently on a economy flight overnight, but having all the kids there did add an extra element to it because I have to be aware of them also. And, you know, they're like, Mom, 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 Mom. Like, they don't acknowledge that I'm trying to sleep. Like, they don't care. So everyone was pretty tired when we landed. We took a taxi from the airport to the hotel. As a side note, there are guys standing there as you're walking towards the taxis trying to get you to take a taxi. Ignore them, and just because they're not licensed taxi drivers, and just go to like the taxi line, and there will be licensed taxi drivers there waiting.
Yes, there's like a dedicated person there that
Yes, and they'll ask you
taxis for you.
They'll ask you how many people. We were able to easily get one that fit all 5 of us and our luggage, no problem. And it's also a set fee. So it depends whether you're going to the right bank or the left bank, but they should charge you a set fee and no more. I think we did pay a small surcharge because we were a larger family. Was that a scam? I don't know. We didn't pay it on the way back, so I have no idea, but
I thought it was just, 50 euros, I thought.
No, but we paid 70, I think, or something like that. We paid 20 more than I thought on the way there. Again, was that, should we have paid that? It's really hard to tell sometimes if you're being taken advantage of, if you're a tourist. And I think it just happens sometimes. So, yeah, whatever. We got to the hotel.
Totally worth it.
The taxi is worth it. You can take the metro. It is possible. We did not want to do that just because of all the kids and all the bags.
After an 8.5 hour flight, no.
Yeah. So taxi is how we did it. And yeah, obviously if you're on a super budget, you can take the metro. It is not that difficult. We took the metro everywhere else we went. We bought passes, Navigo cards for each of us. There's a discounted one you can get for kids. And so that's what we did. And we just reloaded them using my phone when they ran low.
Super easy to use.
Yes, if you've never used the metro, like abroad or even in New York City, like all you do is type in where you want to go in Apple Maps or Google Maps. I'm partial to Apple, but whatever floats your boat. And then you choose the public transportation option, and it will tell you what train to take, and it will say like take the M1 train towards whatever, and get off after 4 stops at whatever stop, and it is literally idiot proof. So just a little tangent there for you. But okay, so we get to the hotel. It's maybe 10 a.m. by now that we've gotten our bags. We've driven in the taxi, which it's about a half an hour drive, I would say, from the airport to the Hyatt Regency.
Yep. Check-in's not until 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
And our room was not ready. Our rooms were not ready, I should say. And so we went up to the club. We did have club access. I have globalist status, so that automatically gives me club access, and I had gifted Dwayne a club access award. So we went up to the club. However, I think even if we didn't, they would have given us club access for that day. That was the impression I had because our room wasn't ready and we were waiting. So I do think even if you don't have it, they will likely give it to you for the day if you arrive super early. So we went up to the club. They were still serving breakfast, actually, so we had some breakfast. We had some coffee, most importantly. I let the kids have Coke because I wanted them to stay awake and have the caffeine. And we hung out there for a bit. We ended up leaving our bags and going for a walk. We stumbled upon something on our walk that we weren't really intending to.
What was that? The Arc?
Yeah.
The Arc de
Triomphe. Yes, it's about a 10-minute walk from the hotel. And there was maybe 10 lanes of cars zooming around it in a circle.
Yes, it was pretty busy.
Would you have wanted to drive in that?
I mean, would I? No. Can I? Of course.
We were also trying to get outside and get in the sunlight so that helps your body adjust to the jet lag easier too.
Kids up and all that stuff. But yes, we took, like you said, a 10-minute walk, which is pretty easy, in the light rain.
Yeah, the weather wasn't too bad that day.
Wasn't too bad. But yeah, the Triomphe was quite...
The Arc de Triomphe.
Was pretty nice. I mean, again, it was busy.
When we were driving into leaving the airport and driving to the hotel, the taxi driver kept saying things to Dwayne, and he was speaking in English, but I know Dwayne was having a hard time understanding him. And at one point, the taxi driver pointed out something. What was it? A plane or something?
It was the Concorde, the supersonic jet that used to fly.
And it's just like parked stationary, right?
Yes, they have it on like display by the airport.
And Dwayne just said, "Oh," but he made his, like, instead of saying "oh," he was like, "Oh," and I was like, told him later that was his French way of saying "oh."
When in France, you know.
Oh, I've never heard him make that sound before. Anyways, our room was not ready until literally 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean, we had quite a bit of time to kill.
They had someone in the room, they said, that had a late checkout until 2. So they had to turn it quickly. So, I mean, it's fine. Like, there's no issue. Check-in is check-in. You know, we were early, so it is what it is. Yeah. But, yeah. Anyway,
back to the club. What did you think of the club?
I think it's a fantastic club, especially when you compare it to like a domestic club like the Grand Hyatt Kauai or something. Or like the Grand Hyatt Scottsdale. I think there's so many more options than here.
Thought it was a pretty good club as well. The best thing about the club was the view.
Oh yeah, the view of the Eiffel Tower is wonderful.
The food was okay.
I mean, they have a lot of like charcuterie stuff and bread and meat and cheese.
Croissants and all that.
Croissants. Croissant.
Coffee machines. They had beer. I even think I had a beer at 10 a.m. that day.
They have wine on tap.
Oh, they have wine on tap, yes. Yeah.
And so that's cool. You just push a button and it fills your glass.
Yes. So the club is like on the whatever floor. Top floor? Was it the top floor?
It might be the top
I think
floor.
it was like 34. Anyway, views were great. Food was okay. We ate there every day for breakfast
Yes.
because it was free. Nothing wrong with that. But after the second day, I was over it.
That's how Dwayne feels about every club, though, because Dwayne wants like meat and more meat and more meat with his breakfast, and he wants like a giant meal that is all his calories for the whole day, and that's not how they eat in Europe. So, sorry to disappoint you. I will say the food it's fine. Like, it's not bad food. The quality is way better than here in the US.
The quality is way better, but the options.
Yes, it's just the options are limited. And like they have like chicken sausage, right? Well, Dwayne and the kids like pork sausage. So it's just, it's very American of you.
Chickens just need to stick to being chickens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we're 15 minutes in. All we've talked about is the club and the hotel. We haven't even gotten in our room yet. Okay, so we check into our room. It's exactly as I expected it to be. But what did you think about it? Because you had no frame of reference.
The rooms, I think they were fine. They were, again, small.
Yes,
But,
Paris rooms are small.
doable.
Totally doable.
Yeah.
Our kids were pumped that they had their own room. They never get their own room.
And again, like the club, we had a great view.
We had Eiffel Tower views, yeah.
We did.
They had set up the kids' room with 3 beds. So normally there's 2 twin beds in there, and they had converted the sofa into the 3rd bed, which was perfect. Our daughter slept there, and the kids were so excited to have their own room, their own bathroom. It's really nice to have 2 bathrooms when you have
There's
a big
5
family.
people.
Yeah. And it was great. It was honestly fantastic. The rooms were not the biggest, but it was plenty.
Yeah, plenty
Room for us.
For sure. It worked out great.
Yeah. And the service at the hotel in general, I find very good.
Yes.
It's worth noting this hotel, at the time that this comes out, is a category 4, but literally tomorrow, Tuesday, March 25th, 2025, it's going to change from a category 4 to a category 5 hotel. And so you won't be able to use free night certificates there anymore, and the points cost per night is going to go up slightly. I still think this is the best value for families wanting to use points for like Hyatt in Paris. I would 100% stay here again. The other thing that's cool about the hotel is it's attached to like a mall, kind of. It's called, what is it called? Place de Congress?
I don't remember what it's called, but I mean, it's not like a mall in America, though.
No, it's not. When I was there last year, it was not finished at all. Like there was still a lot of construction, and walking through it felt weird. It was much more finished this year, but still not completely done.
Yeah. I mean, we walked through that mall
Every day.
every day, and there were stores in there that I didn't see one customer in.
Yes, it was not a very busy
Yes.
mall. There's also a pharmacy there that's open 24 hours a day that you can get to without ever stepping foot outside. So that's great. I actually got some skincare from there before we left.
There's also a Starbucks in that mall that didn't open up until like 8 a.m., which I thought was crazy.
Yes, welcome to Europe. It's crazy for Americans, but it's not crazy for Europeans. So the reason we would walk through the mall, too, is that was the way to the closest metro stop, which is the M1. Port de Mayo is the name of the stop on the M1 train line. And so that's where we started and stopped. Most times we took the metro. Let's talk about a few of the things that we did in Paris. Let's start with...
So the second day, our first full day, well, I guess second day, because we got there at 10 a.m. Anyway, the second day we were there, we partook in a photo shoot that we had booked.
Yes, we booked a photo shoot with a photographer. Let me give some color to this, because So we got in at 8 a.m. We got to the hotel at 10. We made the kids stay up until 7:30, 8 p.m. And then they did, and they fell asleep. And I am thinking, perfect. They're going to sleep through the night, and they are going to wake up, a regular time, and we're going to all be on the time zone, and we're going to be ready to go. But that is not what happened.
Not the case at all.
They woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning, every single one of them, and they were wide awake. There was no getting them back to bed. And we had a photo shoot booked we were supposed to meet her at 7, I think. 7:15, something. And so there's nothing I can do.
She pushed it back a little because of the rain.
Yeah, I'll get there. So the kids are just up. We let them watch TV, their iPads, whatever. And then we start getting ready to go to the photo shoot, hair, makeup for me, getting the boys all dressed, the whole 9 yards. And then I get a text from the photographer saying, hey, it looks like it's raining. Are you seeing that? And I was like, oh, it doesn't really look like it's raining from here. But again, we're on what floor were we on?
19, I think.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to tell. So I'm like, oh, I don't really know. I'm like, I think we should just go with it anyways because everyone's already dressed. My hair is done, my makeup is done. Let's just get it over with, kind of a thing. So we go and we meet the photographer. It's cold. It is raining, and it's early. And my kids have been awake for 7 hours already, and it's not even 8 a.m. So everyone's a little cranky. My poor daughter is freezing because she has on a dress. I couldn't find any tights that didn't look weird on her because she's so teeny. And so I was not sure the photos were going to turn out because it was a lot of bribing, a lot of I'll give you 10 pieces of candy if you can just smile for 1 second. But they did turn out, actually. They came out quite good.
I thought they were great.
Yeah, they were really good. So after we tortured our children with a photo shoot, we didn't have any plans for the rest of the day. So we just kind of spent the day wandering around Paris. We spent most of our time in Le Marais. No, that's not how you say it. Le Marais. That's how you say it en français.
Did we go back to the hotel first?
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, because we had to change and everything. That's the day we went to Notre Dame, too. We went to Notre Dame. We did not buy tickets in advance for Notre Dame because we were not planning to go inside. But the line for no tickets seemed to be moving fairly quickly, and Dwayne wanted to go in. So we did get in the line, and it did move fairly quickly.
It didn't stop moving, actually.
I think we waited maybe 7 minutes. It wasn't long at all. So we went in Notre Dame. That was free. And so that was nice. Our kids lit a candle in there, said a little prayer. Dwayne had some sneaker shops he wanted to look at, so we went to a few of those.
Yeah, I went to the Stussy store, got a Paris exclusive shirt.
Ooh la la.
Yes, oui, mon chéri.
We popped into a chocolate shop and got the kids each a little piece of chocolate. We went to a Portuguese bakery and got some pasta de nata.
I saw Banksy art.
Banksy
art.
Yes.
Someone had vandalized it, though, which was pretty shitty, but...
It kind of rained on and off, but we just had a nice day kind of wandering the streets of Paris. We got a falafel at La Du Falafel, which is a place I went to when I was in Paris 12 years ago, and I still remember it. What I remember eating had a lot more sauce than the one we got, but it was good. Our kids all had more than one bite. That's how I know that it was a win.
I mean, there was a long line.
There was a long line, yeah. It's very popular. And I mean, if it's been in business 12 years, it's got to be good,
Yeah. I feel like that's not that long, though. Was it only, did it just open when you went?
I have no idea. It could have been longer. I have no idea. I just know at least 12 years. In the restaurant world, that's a long time. Anyways, okay.
Not in Spain.
Okay. Well, that'll be the next episode. Some other things that we did in Paris. I scheduled us a tour with the Petite guide, which is...
The small guide.
That's what it means. Petite means small, I guess, technically in French. Her name is Zoe. Zoe, I've followed on Instagram for quite a few years now. And I was so excited to be able to take one of her tours with the kids. So for a little background, she's on Instagram at the Petite Guide. I will link it in the show notes, but her name is Zoe. It is her, her business. I do think that sometimes she has other people doing tours for her, but our tour was booked with her. And it is tours specifically geared towards kids, and you can choose kind of the areas that you want to tour. So Montmartre is a popular one. That's the one that we did. She also does like a get to know your neighborhood kind of a tour. So if you're staying in an area, she'll tour you around that area. And she has a few other ones. So you can find her on Instagram and check her out. But I would highly recommend. She was one of the best tour guides I think we had on the trip.
Yes, very informative.
She explained everything about kind of the Montmartre neighborhood, what it used to be compared to what it is now. We talked a lot about the art and like the history. The kids got to see where Picasso used to live. She brought notebooks and pencils so they could draw. And we took like a little break and had the kids, draw something. It was really good.
Yeah.
Our kids really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And she brought bubbles for the kids. We stopped at her favorite bakery and got to get a snack. It was
very good.
It was very good, yeah. The other thing that I thought was so cool is we walked by a school, like a regular school, and they have their lunch menu posted outside. And so she talked about that with our kids, and they read through the lunch menu together. And I just thought it was really fun for our kids to get to see.
What I thought was most interesting is she said that kids are not allowed to bring their own lunch to school.
Oh, yeah, she did say that. Yeah. So we talked a lot about like what it's like to be a kid in France. And that's the kind of stuff that really engages kids, because it affects them and they can think like, oh, like that would be crazy, There was a lot of vegetables on the lunch menu. I think the kids were like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then the tour, the Montmartre tour specifically ends at Sacré-Cœur. And so you kind of hike up the steps and you get the really beautiful views of Paris. It was a little bit foggy and cloudy the day we were there, but really, really would highly recommend her. I'm sure any tour that she does is great.
Yeah. Very knowledgeable.
She also had some really good recommendations for us, and so we'll talk about, and some of them we did, so we'll talk about those here shortly. But the other thing that I had booked was a macaroon class. Macaron. And this class was specifically geared towards kids. I wanted to do a croissant class, but I couldn't find one that I felt like would let the kids help. Yeah. Because, again, our youngest is 5, and, like, a lot of them had age limits of, like, 7 or 8. And so this macaroon class was really good, actually. It was in a small cafe called the April Cafe. The only thing I would say is it's not in a part of Paris that you're probably going to go to. Like, I never felt unsafe, but it just was in a totally different area to us than all the touristy stuff,
Yeah, definitely a different part of Paris, but yeah, still totally fine to go to.
Yes, and we just, again, put the address into the GPS. It told us the trains to take, and we took them, and we found it. No problem.
Yeah, getting around is super easy.
That was one of the things that you liked the most about Europe, right? Was the transportation?
Yes, and the just character and architecture.
Dwayne took approximately 1,000 pictures of random streets in every city that we went to. It was pretty cute. So the macaroon class, though, the kids did most of it. They sifted, they mixed the batter, they added the coloring, they stirred it in, they piped them out, they filled them. And I mean, we helped too, but the kids really got to have a hand in every piece, and it was good. It was literally in the back of this tiny cafe. So people could be coming in and ordering like a cappuccino, and you're just like literally right there doing it. So I would recommend it though. I will link everything that we did that's bookable. I will link in the show notes.
Yeah.
So if you want to book it, you can go there. Another thing that we did that I hadn't booked was the Louvre, and that was because you wanted to do it, and I didn't know you wanted to do that. So
yeah, and I mean that place was crazy.
It was very packed.
Very packed.
So we ended up booking tickets the day before. We wanted to go that same day that we were talking about going, but they didn't have any tickets available, so we couldn't book it. So we ended up booking it for the next day.
And just heads up, if you're looking to spend or to look at everything in Louvre, I mean, you're going to have to...
Days.
Yeah. It's going to be a whole day worth, at least.
And then some.
Yeah.
It was incredibly crowded when we were there. It was hot inside. Like,
I mean, the place is enormous.
Yeah. So we really did two things. We looked at the Mona Lisa because Dwayne wanted to see it. Us and about 100 other people. What did you think of the Mona Lisa?
I thought it was great. Everyone kept saying it was small, but I think it was small just because you couldn't get super close to it. I mean, it was a normal size painting, but when everyone kept telling me it was small, I thought it was just like a little tiny picture.
I mean, it's like 8 by 10. Like
it's bigger than that. It looks like that because you're so far away.
I mean, I've seen it up close, and
it's bigger than that. It's like that.
People can't see what you're pointing at.
I'm just saying. I'm talking to you because you said it was an 8 by 10.
He's pointing to something that's maybe like 10 by 20.
Yeah. But.
I don't think it's that big. The other thing that we wanted to see in the Louvre was Napoleon's apartments, and that was pretty cool. I have not seen that before, and even our kids were kind of like, wait, this was an apartment? Like, this is huge. It's so opulent. Like, there's just so much gold, and it was pretty big and crazy. What did you think of it?
I just want to say I love his ice cream. Oh, that's Neapolitan. Not Napoleon. I mean, I thought it was great.
I mean, oh God. You knew it wasn't...
It was very... I don't even know the word.
I think opulent is a good word.
That is a good word.
You knew it wasn't Napoleon, right? You knew,
No,
right? Because, do we need to get a divorce?
No. I thought it was the guy that invented the ice cream.
Oh, bless your heart. You did not. Oh, my God. Okay, the other thing we did that the kids really liked, and this was a recommendation from Zoe, again, at the Petite Guide. And as a side note, we paid full price for her tour, so not sponsored in any way. I just really thought I think she does a good job, and I want to recommend her. But she also had some really good recommendations, and one of the things she recommended was to visit the Tuileries and let the kids play on the playground. There's a playground in the Tuileries, and the Tuileries is right by the Louvre. So...
What is Tuileries?
Those are the gardens that we went in. That's what it's called, the Tuileries. And there's a metro stop right by there. So you could take the metro right there. It's really close to the Louvre. So what you could do is let the kids play and get all their energy out, then go to the Louvre. That was our original plan, but the tickets were sold out. So we ended up just spending some time in the gardens and letting the kids run amok and doing the Louvre a different day. But there's a playground there, which is obviously, it's free.
Had a carousel.
There's a carousel near the playground, which is not free.
Not free, but it was
It was fine.
Yeah, $2, €2 per kid.
For one little jaunt around, it was fine. And then they also have trampolines that you have to know to look for them. They're not free. You have to know to look for them because they're not super visible, but we also paid for the kids to jump on them for 7 minutes. And again, it wasn't, was it expensive for 7 minutes? Probably, but we needed them to get their energy out because...
What's funny is there was an American family there when we got there, and she's like, it's not free, and it's only 7 minutes.
In the Tuileries, we also met another American family who, ironically, was also from our same town in Arizona. And they live probably 7 minutes from us. So you could definitely tell it was spring break time for Arizona.
Yeah. Oh, at the Tuileries, we got probably the best hot chocolate of our trip there.
Yes.
It was super good, super thick with 2 C's, and it was delicious.
Well, you were also telling me, you were like, I didn't realize that Paris was known for hot chocolate.
I didn't.
But yeah, they
When I think
they
of
are.
Paris, I don't think of hot chocolate.
What do you think of?
Croissant.
Croissant.
Or a triomphe.
It's the Arc de Triomphe. Anyways, yes, it was very good hot chocolate. It was very hot, and it was a cold day, like maybe one of the coldest days.
Yeah.
And it was really nice to sit on a bench and let the kids play and have a nice hot drink and just kind of relax. I think that's very Paris. And so that was great. Okay, let's talk about a couple of restaurants. We didn't do like Paris fine dining on this trip. I'll just tell you that right now. I don't know how you would do that with kids.
Yeah.
At least not the age of our kids.
Yeah.
And our kids are not picky by any means,
But we did, the tour guide did recommend one place, which we went to, which was kind of fine dining. They, matter of fact, threw us in a corner where no one else was
because
sitting.
we were not dressed
Yes,
appropriately,
we were,
probably.
but-
And fun fact, so the restaurant that she recommended, again, Zoe recommended, was the Brasserie de Louvre. Perfect spot to have lunch before you go to the Louvre or after you've been visiting the Louvre. It is in the Hotel de Louvre, which is a Hyatt hotel that you can also book with points right next to the Louvre. So
What category is it?
6 maybe, I think.
It looked pretty fancy.
Yes. And the restaurant is definitely a little fancier. They did stick us in a corner. We were not dressed appropriately, but they served us and everything was fine. And I do think also we had no reservations. But again, we were kind of visiting in the off season. I think if you were to go in the summer, you would want to make a reservation for sure. The food was good. It was, I would say, traditional French food. Zoe had said that it's her kids' favorite kids menu is at that restaurant. And they did have a good kids menu. Our daughter got salmon. Our son got, they called it steak, but I feel like it was a hamburger patty, kind of. Like it wasn't a steak. It was like ground beef that was shaped into a patty.
I'm trying to remember what it looked like.
And then our older son got, he orders off the adult menu, sadly for our wallets. But him and Dwayne actually got the same thing, which was also steak. And I got some sea bass. And it was like the fish came with a lemon squeezer. And Dwayne and the kids were like, this is the fanciest lemon squeezer I've ever seen in my life.
I've never seen a lemon squeezer like that.
Yes.
And I also got the onion soup. It was
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
good.
French onion soup,
Well,
yeah.
we're in France, so they just call it onion soup.
Oh, I see. I see what you did there. The soup was not as savory as I thought it was going to be.
It was okay.
It was
wasn't-
sweet. It was
yeah.
more sweet.
Yeah.
The bread and butter was 10 out of 10. Like butter in Paris is, French butter in general is just mwah, chef's kiss. So much better than anything we have here in America. The other restaurant that we went to, I talked about on the last Paris episode, is the famous steak frites restaurant. It is called, I'm going to butcher this, but Le Relais de l'Entrecôte. Again, forgive me. My French accent is pas bien. But they only serve one thing, and it is steak and French fries. The only question that you need to tell them is how you like your steak, and everyone gets the same thing. It's the steak, it's the green sauce, and it's the French fries. It is delicious. Dwayne is going to tell you that it was okay, but he's wrong. It's delicious.
It was okay. Wasn't delicious to me. It wasn't bad, but just wasn't something to write home about, you know? So, would I be mad if I never went there again? No.
All three of our kids chowed down on their plates and devoured all of it, including the green sauce. Like, they didn't bat an eye. They just ate it. And our oldest had seconds. Because what they do is they give you a smaller portion, and then they come around again. And Dwayne was even like, this is it. And I was like, no, they're going to come around again and give you a second portion. And they did.
I mean, they did. They gave me a hefty second portion. It was more than the first portion.
Yeah, I couldn't finish all mine. But it's also right next to the Hyatt Regency.
Also, keep in mind that people line up for this place at least an hour before it opens. Like, I got there right at 6. I was the second person in line.
But by the time it opened, like, how long
I
was
mean,
the line?
there was probably 40, 50 people in line.
Yeah.
But again, you they sit you down and, they ask you, how do you like your meat? And boom, it comes out fairly quickly.
Yes.
Because they only got one freaking thing on the menu.
And they serve everyone at the same time. Oh, there's also a salad that they bring out, which has like a very mustardy dressing, which seems to be a very French thing. And I also really enjoy the salad.
I mean,
it was good.
I thought the salad was probably the best part.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no. So highly would recommend. It is right next to the Hyatt and you can walk there. So there's also a McDonald's right there that you can also walk to. And we did eat there once because the kids were curious. Like, what do they have at McDonald's in France? I got some chicken nuggets and they were good.
You got a French thing. What was it? It was like a
goat
wrap?
cheese chicken wrap.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was fine. I didn't finish it. I only took 1 or 2 bites. I just was curious to try it, because they don't have that here.
I stayed American and got a Big Mac.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like we've covered most of the highlights. Am I leaving anything out?
I don't think so. I mean, if you take anything from this episode, just know that it's super easy to travel around Paris, especially with kids. I mean, like you said earlier, it's idiot-proof.
Oh, yeah, especially with the metro. I wouldn't be scared of using the metro. I think there's a lot of fear around it. There are obviously pickpockets. That's, in every city. I think as long as you're smart about it, then you're going to be fine. We didn't have any issues. In fact, my one of the pockets on my bag was unzipped at one point, and another girl told me as like she was getting off the train and I was getting on, and she was like, oh, like she said it in French. I forget what she said, but I knew what she was talking about, and I was like, oh, merci. You know what? There's one more thing that I want to talk about really quick, because kind of on that same note, so that French girl was like, hey, your bag's open. I was like, oh, thank you so much. The first day that we were there, the kids were really tired and we were on the metro, and our 2 youngest were sitting together on one side of the car and we were on the other side, and it was a pretty full car. So there were people standing between us, so we couldn't really see them. And all of a sudden we realized they're both sleeping, and, their head
in one chair.
Yeah. Like together. Yeah. And so they're sleeping and the train is moving and their heads are kind of like nodding forward, as you do when you're sleeping sitting up. But Dwayne and I couldn't get to them because there are literally people standing like between us and them.
It was like rush hour.
Yeah. And so like strangers were like helping to keep the kids' heads up so that they didn't fall. And I just thought that was like a really sweet moment.
Yes, it was definitely a very sweet moment. Matter of fact, I think the people that were helping her were Japanese that were also tourists.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was just, yeah. It's like no one knows one another, but here they are looking out for my kids because I can't. So I feel like that's a metaphor for one of the reasons that we like to travel, and what I hope our kids learn from travel is that people are good for the most part.
Yes,
people are good.
Most people are.
Yeah. So we will leave you with that message of positivity today. And we will be back next week for a recap of Barcelona, which is our next stop on this trip.
Yes.
So thank you so much for listening. Again, I will put everything that we booked in the show notes. So if you have questions, you can check there. And then I also should have a Paris highlight on Instagram if you want to go check that out. If you want to like see the hotel or see, some of the photos and videos from the tours and the classes that we took, that will all live on Instagram. So come say hi. We are on Instagram at TravelParty5. And yes, send me a message. I love it. We've been getting a lot more messages lately, and I love it so much. So come say hi to me.
So we appreciate you. Tell your friends about us.
Yes, share it with a friend, and we will catch you next week. Bye.
Have a good one.